Now these pistoliers charge forward into our spearmen to aid the Emperor and their captain here. Karl Franz has passed through the first unit to get to the grave guard behind them. And then they immediately run away. All right, well, welcome back to the war. Reichland is already moving in. Flensburg is now going to fall. I imagine the battle will be very short. Much shorter than the battle at Nuln, I imagine. I am hoping that maybe they'll have a little punch-up with the Changeling after this, because I imagine he would probably destroy them, but maybe that's also why the punch-up will not occur. But anyway, let's just get right into the battle. We can talk about the campaign map afterwards. All right, welcome to the battle. So basically, we have our units charging up into the hills up here. We've got the bats already there because they could Vanguard deploy. Basically, I'm going to have a line of skeleton warriors in the back, zombies in the front with skeleton spearmen on either side, just trying to hold this, well, I want to say hill, more like slight incline against the enemy here in the trees. As you can imagine, it doesn't go terribly well, but we did our best, and that's what counts. The enemy is, of course, charging up the hill at us. Actually, you know what? It is a considerable incline when viewed from their perspective here. I guess it flattens out maybe a little bit over there. We do have some dire wolves over here in the trees, and they will attack from behind once the enemy is fully committed. They're not able to do a terrible amount of damage, but any damage is better than none. Of course, they also have missile units, and so can fire at us without necessarily having to engage us, though some of them do, as you can see here. I turn around the bats and just have them attack them, trying to get the units in position here without the cavalry being able to fully stop them. And as you can see, as is typical, the cavalry is able, or trying to, I suppose, just pass through my zombie unit without fighting it. Then they kind of figure out that that's not going to work this time, and then they turn around. I'm guessing units are able to do that just if they have a lot of mass. Like if they're a really heavy unit, like maybe these Empire Knights here could have done a better job of that if they had wanted to. The bats are going to crumble away, because despite their victory, they did suffer a lot of damage. I think they were shot quite a bit by the Outriders as they were charging up here. You may also see occasional explosions among my ranks, and it's actually caused by their lord, who is this this character back here. He has some kind of like hand mortar or cannon that apparently lobs bombs. As you can see. I actually did... Oh, wait a minute. That bomb landed amongst his own troops. And don't worry, most of his bombs, I think, do land amongst my own. But, anyway, yes. Very interesting. Because I was sitting here watching the battle for a long time going, where are these explosions coming from? I didn't think they had, like, a mortar unit or anything. But no, it was their master engineer lord guy. Now, over here on our right flank, the enemy keeps charging up the hill, or just firing up the hill, depending on the circumstances. So some of my units charge down after them, but then sometimes they come back. It's just kind of back and forth, until the wolves get over here, which, as you can see, they've left the trees and are now charging at the enemy. And I basically have them go right for the Outriders, because I figure as a missile cavalry unit, hopefully they'll be a little easier to chew on than the Empire Knights here. And I mean, they do have some success, but very little. Meanwhile, halberdiers versus spearmen over here. In case it wasn't obvious, we lose the battle. I'm sure you knew that already. The zombies crumble away pretty quickly, and so I have to commit the skeleton swordsman from the second line basically all along the front very quickly. One of the skeleton swordsman unit is actually over here on the flank, and they're the ones who keep turning around and basically attacking the knights or are being attacked by them. It just kind of depends on the circumstances. The wolves still munching on the outriders as they try to either, I guess, retreat, or maybe they're just trying to get closer to their own units. Either way, it certainly works because the wolves crumble away pretty quickly, and I assume it's because they're basically surrounded by the enemy at this point. Empire Knight's definitely doing some cycle charging back and forth. I'm not sure how effective it is since they keep doing it up a hill and into trees, but I mean, obviously they do win the battle in the end, but I'm not sure if it was actually terribly effective, and it was more a case of just they're a better unit. So even without the charge bonus, or with maybe a smaller charge bonus, they're still going to win against the warriors here. Also, the warriors are just kind of a weak unit in general. See, it looks like the outriders actually pulled through the infantry here to attack the spearmen. As you can see, they're actually in front, or were in front, of the halberdiers. Now, a few of them seem to be running off. And the explosion's still going off in the background there. Okay, yep, there we go. There's an outrider unit fleeing. Not that they are terribly needed for the rest of the battle. You can see units are starting to crumble away. I think that they will all be destroyed shortly. Oh yes, those are my zombies. I was like, what's that red patch over there? It's the zombies. in von Karstein red. Alright, well anyway, I think having watched them fight for a bit now, I think you guys get the idea here. Normally I don't think I would let you guys go quite so early, since the battle really isn't fully over yet, but I guess it's kind of no longer in doubt. Oh wait, I think the battle is actually over now, because all of my units are crumbling away. So, I think the one that survives the longest is over here, and it is also being destroyed, so yes. Alright, well, I guess I will see you guys back on the campaign map then. Alright, well, we have lost Flensburg, was it? Yes, Flensburg. Much to my surprise, the Emperor did not try to come further south. As you may recall where we left off last time, Vlad was starting to head back towards Nuln. Interesting. Okay, anyway. But no, not only did he not do that, but he seems to have headed over to Flensburg himself. In something of a hurry, I suppose.
I see wisdom eludes you.
Hey, that's a hurtful thing to say. I mean, it's true I can't actually reach Nuln and attack it this turn. At least I don't think so. No, I cannot. Alright, well, anyway, to be honest, I don't think there's really very much to talk about on the campaign map from last time. It is just the next turn, basically. Of course, you just saw us lose Flensburg. Or me lose Flensburg, rather. I do have Oswald here. I did have him start leaving before he had fully finished training up his forces. That's because it had occurred to me that I could actually train them up on the march as long as I was still in this province here. So, like, now I think I can have him go... Oh, dang it! The ogres have taken Grenstadt. Okay, well, at least the orcs have burned down Averheim again, so I might be able to take that. But I don't really have time for a war with the ogres right now to take Grensdot. I really do not. But anyway, what was I saying? The point is that I didn't have to have him sit in Castle Drakenhof doing nothing while the units were being trained. I could have him just march, train, and so we could, get a move on right away, because I want his army to kind of get a move on closer to the front here. I would like to take Averheim, though it looks like it's possible the ogres will actually take it first. Actually, I don't see the ogre army. Maybe they went back into the mountains then, I suppose. Maybe this place will rebel, and I could take it then. Though I doubt it. It doesn't seem to have lost all that much control. All right, but anyway. Oh, wait, what did that say? I think it actually told me. It had 19 turns, so it's not exactly, like, super rebellious or anything. Basically, my hope is that maybe the Empire will fight the Changeling. Maybe they'll kill him. Maybe he'll kill them. Either way, that kind of works for me. Oswald will move up here and take Averheim, and then maybe attack them, I guess, depending on where they go or what they do. And Vlad is going to head north here to take back Nuln, and then cross and have to fight them as well. But anyway, I do have other campaign map stuff to do before any further battles here, so I will let you guys go now, and I will bring you back as the war continues. Ah, lovely. So, welcome back to the war. And as you can see, the Empire has actually just bypassed the Changeling and is actually going to attack Wurtbad. Bit unfortunate, but I guess that's just kind of the way it is. We'll talk about the campaign map once we get back to it, so let's just jump right into this battle here. I guess actually I should show you the armies first. Though it's basically the same armies as before. Just maybe with slight damage here and there. All right, welcome to the battle. Which I have paused here because we do have some explaining to do. In fact, I'll bring up the interface here while I explain things for a bit. Basically, I was trying to do something similar to what I did at the Battle of Nuln, the one where we lost the city to Karl Franz. But hopefully try and have a bit of improvement here, because you may remember in that battle, I had zombies on the walls, so that the towers would fire at the enemy, but then I had the dire wolves and I had the fell bats strike basically at their artillery and immediately die. And so then the enemy very quickly got to the walls and overwhelmed them, and then got into the rest of the city. So my thought process here was, we still have the zombies on the walls, and we still have the towers firing at the enemy, but this time the bats, and I guess we don't have dire wolves this time, we actually have black knights. What we would do is we would have them just run out here and start like harassing the enemy, basically holding them in place, hopefully long enough for the towers to actually like do some damage against the enemy. And then once they perish, obviously the enemy would then be able to take the walls, but at least we would do some damage before they're able to do that. To be honest, I don't think it works out particularly well, but we might as well go ahead and begin here. I have the bats go over and harass this force here on the left, while the Black Knights charge out of this gate to harass this force in front of us. We do have another force over here, and also the reinforcements are going to be coming from up there in a couple of minutes. So now, as you can hear the towers firing at the enemy. So, to some degree, oh, and you can see some of them dying, actually. That's great. Basically, the Black Knights are going to sit here, and we're actually going to have them charge the Reichsguard. And my thought was that I might be able to do some hit-and-run tactics, where we charge them and then kind of move away from the enemy. As you can see, we're actually doing that with the bats over here. They attacked that unit and then started to fly away. The problem is, I think, is that my Black Knights are a vastly inferior unit. And what I'm quickly learning with this game is that inferior units die quickly. So even though I try to pull the Black Knights off of there and basically have them start to run away, it doesn't really work. I guess that's another thing that I need to learn somewhat quickly. The AI can really get its units in there and stop you from running away, but you can't do that to them. Like, as you see how my knights can't run because they're being, like, caught by the enemy? Oh yes, and the mortars are bombarding the wall, which is funny because they actually put ladders against that wall and climb it. But anyway, I have the Black Knights try and charge back and forth here to try and extricate themselves from the cavalry here, but the enemy, it doesn't let them go, which is annoying because certainly that would have happened to me had our situations been reversed. And the bats basically died instantly. I tried to have them harass another unit and then immediately leave, but then they just immediately died. I feel like my units are just so incredibly fragile that they can't really do anything. Yes, the Black Knights have died, basically, at this point. I think there might be a couple of them in there. Oh, no. They're actually completely dead. The Outriders, I think, are firing, actually, at the zombies up there. And so you see, my plan to try and harass the enemy and keep them away from the walls for at least a bit didn't really work out. In fact, I don't think it was any more effective, really, than when I charged the artillery in the Battle of Nuln. I mean, maybe if they didn't have any cavalry of their own, I would have been able to outrun them, but that obviously wasn't the case, so it hardly matters. And the bats didn't have to face any cavalry or anything, but they just died immediately on the infantry, so it's probably not enough of a help anyways. So the zombies are doing that similar kind of thing that they did at the Battle of Nuln, where they don't really engage the enemy unless I tell them to. So that's what I've done here, is I've told the zombies, hey, there's guys on the wall here, why don't you try fighting them? Oh, and I forgot to mention, there is actually a skeleton warrior unit over here. There weren't any towers over here, but I thought I might be able to hold back the enemy longer with my hit-and-run tactics. And if that was the case, then I wanted to make sure they didn't take the gate basically immediately. But that's kind of what they're going to do here. Because this one skeleton warrior unit is not going to be able to seriously delay a... What is this? A swordsman unit? Yeah, a swordsman unit, a archer unit, and a spear unit. They're a tad outnumbered is where I'm going with that. Now I've told the zombies here to attack these... what are they called? Great swords. Harrowberg great swords. But as you can see, the enemy is getting up here, and this is what I mean. The mortars are attacking this wall here, and just to bring up the interface for a moment, they are actually doing serious damage to it, but they're also climbing the wall, so they should probably stop shooting at it. Probably. So, of course, that zombie unit isn't going to hold out for very long. It's facing 3 different units itself right now. The only unit that's actually doing very well is this zombie unit. And it's not just because they are unengaged by the enemy, but the towers are also firing on this, I guess these are pistoliers? Yes, they are. Pistolier unit. And so they're actually going to succeed in eliminating an enemy unit. Or at least the towers they control will do that. Well, I say eliminate them. I imagine they start running once there's only like a couple of them left, because it seems unlikely that they would fight to the very last man. So I guess that's not impossible either. All right, these skeleton warriors are all but destroyed over here. This is the last bunch of them, and as you can see, they are disintegrating. Seriously, do you suppose they're actually killing any of their own guys with those shots? Pistolier's nearly dead. Zombies fighting over here. I think they will be destroyed shortly. I guess while the zombies are fighting their last desperate action here, we might as well talk about where the rest of our forces are and what they're up to. So just like at the Battle of Nuln, I've sort of held back most of my units back here. We aren't using the same barricade as we used last time. We're using the one, I guess, that actually stops units from advancing rather than the one that buffs my units. Or actually, no, it was a debuff. It was a barricade that debuffed the enemy. Because they can just pass right through my units, kind of as they please. You may remember that happened last time. So I decided to use the barricades that actually stop the enemy. It also said that they can actually pass through and still attack the enemy on the other side, which they can. I did see that in the actual battle. To be honest, it doesn't help us very much, though. You see, I just really can't duplicate what the AI can do, where... well, actually, I guess I'll show you guys later. It's easier to show than to just tell. But anyway, over here, we have an area where there is no barricade to stop them from getting to that control point. So I've got a spearman unit here, followed by our graveguard unit, followed by our spearman unit. And the reason why I have another spearman unit back here, instead of like in the middle maybe, is because this is actually the captain's unit. And so I figure we should probably preserve them at least a little bit. And then we have this tower here that can fire into this field here. And I'm hoping that having like units in depth like this would actually stop the enemy from just passing through our units. And I think it works kind of. A little bit, sort of. You'll see later. You'll see later. Okay, so how is everything going over here? This zombie unit lasting for a surprising amount of time. Have you guys finished killing those pistoliers? It looks like it. I wonder if they really did run off or not. That zombie unit actually lasts for quite a while because the enemy seems to like forget that it's there and they don't attack it. So I end up having, telling them to attack these guys later. And yes, the zombie unit that was over here is dead. The warrior unit that was over here is dead. So yes, the only unit still of fighting along the walls here is this unit of zombies. And I use fighting probably incorrectly because they're not really doing much. They die soon enough. They die soon enough. So anyway, the point is that the enemy is now going to pour into the settlement. And another thing that I thought I might be able to get away with here is... You can see I've been building up like a barricade here, a barricade there. There's a tower there. There's a tower there. And actually, I do something like that over here, too. I think I build a barricade and a tower. And the idea is that like I had all of these build points that I had no use for. And so I thought maybe I could just like delay the enemy at different points. And I guess technically, yes, that is what I did. But I don't think it helps in any way. Because obviously I don't have any way of killing them, so the barricade just kind of stops them for however long it takes for them to knock it down. You can see the zombies are now engaging the enemy. At least I thought they were. Oh, they actually did manage to take down that tower. Oh, and they probably killed a bunch of their own guys. That's a tad unfortunate for them. Uh-oh. Arrow fire on the zombies. Oh, and mortar fire on the zombies. That's not good. I dare say the zombies are going to collapse quite quickly. At least, what's his name? Karl Franz can't get up here and fight them because he's on horseback now. Oh, but here comes the great swords. Yep, that's the end of the zombies, basically. Yes. I actually wanted to see if this happened, but yes, their witch hunter hero, basically, he walks right past the tower here to get at the control point, because, of course, there's no barricades that could actually be built over here. Only this tower here on the corner, so... There was nothing to actually stop him from just sort of walking right up to the control point. So, the hero units are another unit that seems to very easily be able to pass through my unit. So, I don't know. Even if I had an infantry unit, I wonder if he could have just walked through anyways. The enemy is getting up over here as well. Oh, they actually... Oh, I guess they're firing at my tower. Oh, they're firing at the back of the barricade. Wait a minute, is that actually working? Are they doing damage? Oh, I guess they are. Huh. Okay, well, anyway. It's going to be a bit now before the enemy actually makes their way over here to our next line of defense here. So I will just let you guys go now, and I will bring you back as the battle continues. All right, welcome back to the battle. Now we are back towards the final control point here, and just to show you really quickly, the enemy has taken all the other control points, and so they're now pouring over into the center here. We've got an Empire captain as well as Karl Franz himself charging in to engage the skeleton spearmen on this side. You can see there are units coming up behind him here. This is the side that has a tower, though, so hopefully we'll do some damage. Only some, though. Very little, if I'm being honest. The enemy has a type of unit we have no real access to, at least not right now, and that's ranged units. These guys I don't think are able to help too much. They do fire at the barricade, I think, but they also bring up archers and stuff to fire over the barricades at us, and we have no way of firing back, of course, so there is that bit of a problem. Now these pistoliers charge forward into our spearmen to aid the Emperor and their captain here. Karl Franz has passed through the first unit to get to the grave guard behind them. And did they immediately run away? That's unfortunate. So now here is where I try to have my unit pass through and attack the enemy. And it did work. Obviously you can see their skeletons down there fighting the enemy. What I was trying to do, though, was a bit of a hit and run, where I would attack them for a bit and then pull back. But as you can see, my troops cannot pull back. And the whole time my troops are over on this side, like these few guys here, I'm losing hit points. Like, this counts as an attack on the unit still, and so even though these guys are basically unengaged, they're still dying. Like, this unit is still being destroyed. So I end up just sending the whole unit through, but then they just immediately die. So I'm not sure what the purpose of this is. I mean, it does stop the enemy from advancing and just passing through my units, which that works. That is what I wanted this barricade to do, but without being able to do any, like, hit-and-run tactics on the enemy, my skeleton warriors just immediately die, basically. Oh, there we go. I was going to say, see those arrows flying overhead? This is what I mean, how the enemy can just attack us now, and we really have no answer. Nothing really to, like, stop them from doing this, other than charging out there, which we would die anyways. Pick your poison. Do you want to die to arrow fire, or do you want to die to being run down by all the cavalry that is out here? And now the enemy really starts to pour in on this side in earnest. Of course, the captain and Karl Franz have been here the entire time. I don't even think they've actually been very badly hurt. Yeah, the captain is not suffering at all, and Karl Franz is basically is barely damaged at all. I have no units to stop them either, of course, since they're these uber powerful, heroic, invincible, taller than normal people men. I think they actually are, like, the lords are literally taller, like their actual unit model, I mean. Because I think I noticed that with Vlad, too. Like, he seems to stand a good, like, head or so above, like, all the skeleton units and such. Now, you might see units moving back and forth here. To be honest, I was unsure what exactly to do. Because the skeleton unit over here is already dead, of course, but the barricade is holding the enemy back for at least a time. And so at one point, like, I take this skeleton warrior unit and I have them just sort of stand here to, like, block this bridge. But then, like, I call them back later because the enemy doesn't make it through before we get crushed over here. And we are going to be crushed over here. Make no mistake. I was hoping that maybe since Karl Franz and the Empire Captain are technically, like, cavalry right now, the spearmen might do a bit more damage against them, but the answer to that question is no. No, they do not. I mean, technically, I'm sure they are doing more damage than they would have if they were just infantry, but I guess the difference is insignificant and irrelevant. Graveguard desperately trying to hold back the enemy. Yes, and so I also decided to bring the Crypt Ghouls over here, because I figure they have that, like, poison debuff, where they lower the stats of the enemy. So I thought, well, maybe we'll throw them in over here, both to try and shore up this flank a bit, and also just to make it hopefully a little bit easier to kill some of them. Again, it doesn't really work out very well. I don't think we do too much damage to the enemy over here. Now over here, this barricade has barely been damaged, whereas this one has actually been shot quite a bit by these Outriders. Oh, and actually, it looks like it's also being attacked by... Is that the mortars? I didn't notice this during the actual battle themselves. Is this... Yes, this is the mortar team! If I had noticed that they were there during the actual battle, I might have actually just had the skeletons step out there and attack them. Like, why not at that point? All right, we're basically losing most of our troops over here. And just like that, they all disintegrate, and so do these guys over here due to army losses. So them running back and forth here didn't really matter at all. And with that, the battle is over, so I will see you guys back on the campaign map. Oh well, I guess easy come, easy go, as they say. Because you guys may remember, we actually took these two, that's Flensburg and Wurtbad, without a fight, because the orcs had actually depleted their garrisons. So, yeah. We got them for free, basically, and now we basically lost them immediately. And holy smokes, they're still trying to zip on ahead here. Even though I've got, like, Vlad right behind them, ready to take Nuln, and then continue, I guess, basically attacking Flensburg and Wurtbad. Basically, it's almost like they're not trying to conquer our territory. They're just trying to take it for a turn so that we could, or two, so that, like, we would then have to follow them back to our own territory, basically. I mean, I do have Oswald here, so I guess there's that. The Fort Oberstein. Okay, so they should have a slightly better garrison by next turn. What is this? Okay. Well, anyway, let's actually jump into right now talking about the campaign map, since I said I would do that anyways. Looks like Vlad's going to be able to take back Nuln this turn, and then we'll basically have to just start chasing after Karl Franz, because apparently he has no interest in coming back to defend the place. I actually thought that once Vlad came within range like this, he would turn around, but instead they headed to Wurtbad and took that instead. And now you've got Ulrich Kaslane coming forward here. Now he could attack the Moot, or he could attack Fort Oberstein, which I can't really prevent both of those. I could have Oswald just sit in the Moot to defend that one, and that'll give him some extra reinforcements too.
I see wisdom eludes you.
And it's those Outriders and all these, like, gun cavalry that I don't really like, because they, well, of course they replenish, for one. But, you know, we can't really do any permanent damage to them. Oh, speaking of doing damage, you'll notice they have a bunch of heroes, and so I thought, oh, this would be a perfect opportunity for Posner to take them out, because she has, like, an 83% chance on every single character to take them out. That's great. So what happens with the very first character she goes after? Well, she immediately dies, critical binding, even though there was only like a 13% chance of that happening. So, of course, Posner is now gone. She's not dead, she's wounded, so I guess we'll get her back eventually. But now we can't take out these heroes as I intended and thought would be able to happen because we had such good odds of it working. To be honest, I'm not sure Oswald's army is strong enough to take on anyone, really. I mean, I say that, and I guess that's a little harsh. But the problem is that my units never seem to stand up very long against the enemy at all. And even like attacking in the rear or attacking downhill or attacking from like a good vantage point doesn't seem to really help, you know, weaker units very much. It is really just like the stronger unit wins, or at least that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. But anyway, I'm going to go and do some campaign map stuff, and when I bring you guys back, we'll have the fourth... Is this the fourth Battle of Nuln now? Where we take it back from the Empire? And then, like I said, we'll probably just have Oswald sit in the moot to defend it, and hopefully he will be able to defend it. Like, if they attack him there, he'll actually win that fight. If they attack Fort Obersteier, we'll definitely lose that fight. Definitely lose that fight. But I guess then maybe Oswald could attack these, hopefully at least somewhat weakened force and take them out. And hopefully further, Karl Franz won't be able to assist right away because he's a little bit behind now. Or maybe he finally will be distracted by Vlad attacking settlements behind him and just taking them as they go. So maybe, I guess we have that to look forward to as well. Oh, and the ogres have taken the Averland province. So I guess Oswald didn't really have any opportunity to do that. We did not get there in time. And now we have the Wood Elves trespassing in our territory. Let's see, are they actually here to attack me, or are they here to attack the orcs? I hope it's the orcs, because I have too many enemies and too many armies to fight right now. So would you mind pissing off back to your woods? Anyway, let's see, what have we got here? Stance encampment. Oh, I guess that would make sense, because there's probably vampire attrition at this point. Oh, okay. I was like, hold on, who's at war with these guys? But yeah, I just realized when I click on this army and hover over here, so they actually are at war with the orcs. Okay, well that might be a good thing then. Hopefully the orcs will come down here and, I guess, hold back the elves from attacking me. That would be nice. I assume that Reichland will just ignore the ogres for now until they've dealt with me, which, who knows, maybe they will at this rate. We've been defeated now 3 times, though to be fair, we had no chance really at victory. And I still can't believe they just walked past the change lane. Alright, but anyway, I think that's actually it for now, so I will let you guys go, and I will bring you back as the war continues. Welcome back to the war. So basically, we're right where we left off last time. I guess the only real difference over here is that Oswald is now in the moot. I'm sort of hoping that they'll try and attack him here. Sort of. I'm sort of expecting that they might actually destroy us if they attack us here. Oswald's army is not exactly made up of awesome troops, though. I mean, you know what? We'll just see how the battle goes when it goes. That's assuming they even attack the moot, of course. They could attack Fort Obersteier. They can actually reach it. And the garrison there could not stop them. So hopefully we would do at least a fair bit of damage, and then Oswald could come in and maybe finish them off, or more likely just have a more equitable fight. Fight them in a slightly weakened state. I think I already mentioned that the ogres have taken Averland, and they actually are quite... what's the word for it? They actually don't hate us, like some of the other factions. So maybe they could potentially be an ally, or at least maybe a distraction for Imperial factions, specifically Reichland, as they kick our butts. Though to be fair, the only reason they've been able to do so far is because they haven't actually had any serious resistance. Because, you know, they cowardly stabbed us in the back while we weren't looking, and so they were able to take territory without much of a fight. I can't remember if I mentioned this already, but it looks like the elves and the orcs are going to be fighting each other in my territory, which I'm... Go fight in each other's territory. Leave me be. Why do you guys have to settle your differences over here? But anyway, I am hoping that the orcs, the Skull Takers, do hold back the elves at least a bit. I should say that I've actually gotten a non-aggression pact out of them. I don't think they were going to attack me, if I'm being honest, but I guess now I've hopefully made it even less likely that they would attack me. Alright, but anyway, it's time for our counterattack to begin. We're going to take Nuln, like I said last time, I think, and then we're going to cross the bridge here, get to Flensburg, and I guess just depending on what Karl Franz chooses to do, we'll have to react to whatever it is they're going to do. So, let's get right in here and attack Nuln. We're not going to build up any equipment or anything. The garrison, unfortunately, has built up a little bit, but we're going to destroy them nonetheless. So let's just get right into the battle. All right, welcome to the battle. Basically, here, I'll bring up the interface here for just a minute. But basically, it's kind of like the last battle of Nuln, except we have no siege equipment this time, so I guess that is a bit of a difference. But it's similar in the sense that we have Isabella on this side with about half of the army, and then we have Vlad on the other side here with about half the army. It's a little mixed up here and there. Then we have our flying units here. They're going to strike against the units on the walls and fight most of their battle actually on this side. The infantry on all sides is just going directly for the walls, while the cavalry mostly goes for the gate. And we need to keep a close eye on one or both of our corpse carts, because we actually lose one of them. And I didn't notice that until I was at the after battle screen, and so I need to see how exactly that happened. See, there's one corpse cart there. And there's another corpse cart there. I assume they stayed outside of the settlement at all times, so I'm guessing that they were standing like maybe this one was standing in such a place that like it was constantly being shot by the towers or something. I guess we will find out. So the flying units open up with an attack upon a much weakened swordsman unit that was here on the walls. It's worth noting that none of their units are at full strength because they've been having to try and rebuild the garrison. But this one was particularly weak looking for some reason. So the flying units are going to start with that unit. Troops are going to start pouring up the walls here. Except for this particular Graveguard unit, which decides to just sit at the bottom of the stairs for a bit. I do eventually notice that they've not moved at all, and I correct their behavior and send them up the ladder, but that takes a bit. That takes a bit. Units are charging up the wall over here. Let's check on our corpse cart. Holy smokes! That corpse cart just lost, like, much of its health. Unless that was just... Oh, wait. Whoa. Wait, they're being shot. Ah, they're being shot by the archers on the other side. And apparently, doing a lot of damage to it. I did not notice that, but I guess that's the corpse cart we lose then. That answers my question. Ah, this might answer another question that I had. Some of the Black Knights actually got into the settlement. And I guess this is why. The gate opened briefly, and a few of them got inside. Something similar happens with the Crypt Horrors, where a few of them get inside the settlement. And I'm guessing it's for the same reason. The gate briefly opens and allows some of them through. Well, questions are being asked, and questions are being answered. Reaper's doing a pretty good job over there. The flying units have attacked a couple of different units and then retreated, but now I have them take off and start attacking these crossbowmen down here because they're being shot by them. Now, this unit of skeleton spearmen over here were basically unopposed taking this bit of wall, so I tell them to go for the gate so that we can just sort of walk through here instead of trying to take it down. Because if I bring up the interface for a moment, I mean, they are getting through the gate, but it is taking them some time, and so it'd be faster if we could just, you know, open it. The Graveguard, as you can see, are now coming up the ladder as they ought. Sort of curious when the Crypt Horrors are able to get in here, but anyway. Doesn't matter. We've got the Stalkers. Came up the ladders here, also chewing away at the enemy. I think this is where some of my more elite units are. So we've got the Stalkers here, and I think we've got 2 units of Graveguard here. Whereas Isabella, I think, only has the 1 unit of Graveguard over here. And so the rest are either warrior or skeleton units. Or actually, I don't think we have any warrior units apart from these Stalkers, so they must all be skeleton spearmen. I did pull back the Blood Knights, as you can see, because the gate was about to open anyways. Or we were about to take it, I should say. Oh, okay, so, wait. Somehow the Crypt Horrors got in here. I guess the gate must have opened, though, right? They didn't just, like, phase through the gate, though I guess maybe they did. Who knows? And so here we have the Black Knights, half of the unit, well, not half the unit, but a small piece of the unit fighting inside the settlement while the rest of them are continuing to attack the gate. Now, have we lost the corpse card? Ah, we have. Okay, so this was definitely the one. I guess they were just shot to bits. I think what happens here is this other half of the unit comes over here and actually takes the gate, allowing them to get in here. Now, the flying units are attacking this tower, and so that takes them basically the rest of the battle. With this gate now open, though, we have the Blood Knights charging in here, attacking one of the units as they... Well, actually, most of the units are fleeing, to be honest. We do have some spearmen coming down here, though, to engage the Blood Knights. So I believe I have the Wolves actually charge in here and take that fight instead. Even though I'm pretty sure the Blood Knights would still win that fight quite handily. I guess we could just sit here for a moment and watch Swordsman and the Skeleton Spearmen fighting. I do enjoy just sitting and watching the units fight for a bit. Though it looks like the battle is already over on that side. Usually when they mash into each other like that, it's because they're routing. Either that or they've been ordered to like pass through a unit, and so they're just kind of doing that. Now, since the Stalkers won their fight over there, I'm actually having them take the gate on this side too. And again, just to let us through the gate a little faster. And yes, the Crypt Horrors already took this gate. Crypt Horrors charging up here to engage some of these units. Some of them are fleeing, but some of them are actually sticking around to fight. So, like, these crossbowmen are still fighting. Up in here, as you can see, the Dire Wolves are now engaging the Spearmen here. The Blood Knights have gone around and are actually taking this control point. I actually think that'll destroy the barricade, and I think I was going to have them then charge in from behind to help the Dire Wolves, but I believe the battle is very close to ending. So I don't believe I get the chance. In fact, that actually might have been it, because I noticed all of their stuff just blew up. Including, yes, the barricade, yeah. Everything, including the places that I haven't actually taken yet. So the battle is actually over. All the enemies are in retreat. Or dead. Any of them are dead. Now it's just a case of mopping up the survivors. I think most of them are being beaten up by various units. I do have the Blood Knights assisting up here. We'll just watch for a bit, and then I'll let you guys go. I do enjoy watching my enemies die as they try to flee for their life. I mean, I just consider it a normal part of the battle. Watch the enemy flee, get eaten by wolves. And then for my unit to somehow lose its order to fight them, and so they just they sort of walk away. That happens too. Blood Knights charging over here. I believe they're going for this unit here. Let's back up and give them some space. Well, that takes out most of them there, doesn't it? Most of the enemy is dead now. Well, most of the ones that were fleeing are dead now, I should say. Though there are just scattered men, like, literally all over the place. Like, here, let me bring back the interface here. Oh, except I can't highlight a unit. Never mind. Well, anyway, all of these guys that you see here, like on the walls, on the ground, inside and outside the settlement, they're actually one part of one unit. The unit has just been severely scattered all over the place. Actually, here, sounds like gunfire. Means the towers are probably shooting at these guys, but I don't think they're killing any of them. All right, but anyway, I think we've seen enough now, so I will let you guys go now, and I will see you back on the campaign map. All right, so victory is ours. The enemy didn't do too much damage except for that unit there, which managed to kill 97 of my guys. Our guys did well, wolves did well. Basically, all the good units did well, and all the not-so-good units did not so well. Oh, I actually lost one of my corpse cards? When the heck did that happen? Oh, they were probably, like, shot by towers or something, and I just didn't notice. Fudge! I didn't notice that at all. Wait, and they killed 7 guys. Wait, and they killed 11 guys. When did they kill anybody? They should have just sat outside the walls the entire time. Huh, I guess you guys already know the answer because I'm about to watch the replay and record it. So I'll find out here shortly. You guys already know the answer. Let's go ahead and occupy. I guess next turn we'll have to see if... Or actually, no, we don't have to wait until next turn. We can raise dead while we're inside of the settlement. Holy smokes, what the heck are half of these units? Okay, there is a Balefire Corpse Guard here. I would take it right now, but you know, since there is such a hefty number of units there, maybe I'll just look through and consider my options before choosing it. I'm sure I'll probably get it, but anyway. Might be some other units, though, that I could, like, replace with some stronger units here. I mean, I don't have a ton of money, but... Well, I mean, I guess relative to the territory and the amount of stuff I'm trying to build. But, it might still be worthwhile to upgrade some of Vlad's units, if only because we are fighting very seriously now against Reichland, and they are kicking our butts with weaker units. Well, and just bad battles and bad positioning, so, you know, there's that, too, but... It would be nice if Vlad could just kind of waltz through here and obliterate them quite nicely. So, anyway, I guess I will let you guys go for now, and I will bring you back as the war continues.